How's it going out there tonight? It's pretty summery right now. Let's see who's in there. Okay, I'm going to start this off with just a little bit of an update. And that's that I've got a video coming out the day after this live stream. So that's going to be tomorrow. I just finished editing it. It's a big hey underscore. See you there. Hey, buddy. So yeah, I got a video coming out tomorrow night. It's going to be about an hour long. It was a big edit, and it's the longest film that I've ever made, but that's coming out tomorrow. Anyway, that being said, I was trying to get it out today, and it's a 10 gigabyte upload, and I just decided, nah, I'm just gonna do a live stream, have some dinner, relax, and take care of it tomorrow. So that's it. And I have some leftover crab cakes. I actually made a video where I made some crab cakes, caught some crab, made some crab cakes, and I'm just finishing up the rest of it tonight. And had to eat it before it went bad. But it's only been in my fridge for 2 days. They're really, really good. Anyway, I'm gonna pull up a chat here so that I can see it on my computer. There we go. Turn the volume down. So what's going on out there? How's everyone's summer going? What are you up to tonight? I figured it's quiet. Maybe everyone's having dinner, so we'll share dinner maybe. Hey Gina, good to see you. All right, I got everybody in here. That's good. Richard Thomas, hey buddy. Nice to see you too, man. Jennifer, hello. Hello, Mike. Oh, right on, guys. So, I shaved off the mustache. The next video, I still have it. So, somewhere in there in my videos, I end up shaving it off. But it's been so long that I actually have this back again. So, anyway, I'm in Vancouver right now. I came into town to do some help for a friend of mine, Lonnie. I think he's been on, I've talked about him a few times. He's probably made a showing in a couple of my videos. But he's in the process of doing a move. And something came up that he's got stuff spread out. So he's got stuff at one friend's place. He's got stuff at another friend's place. He's got stuff on his boat. And he's moving into an apartment. So one of his friends was like, hey, I'm really sorry. I gotta get your stuff out of here sooner than later so I can rent this suite out. And so I got on a ferry, came over and helped him out. And we got it all done in one day. I started about 9 in the morning and we finished at about just after midnight. So it was a long day, but it's all done. And now I'm kind of like, well, maybe I might just shoot back to the island soon and go work on Nick's van. But I enjoyed the day just sitting here. Hey guys. Oh man. So you guys have any questions? Shoot me questions. I'll see what I can do to catch up on stuff. Yeah, I know it's late over there on the East End. Angela is saying it's 10:30 p.m. in Florida, so definitely on the East Coast it's going to be later in the day. Robin Geiger had salmon patties, au gratin, potatoes, peas, and brownies for dessert. That sounds really good, actually. Salmon patties. So is it just like ground up like kind of a salmon burger, or is it kind of like a crab cake similar to this? Here, there you go. It's a little burnt on that side, but this stuff is so good. The first time I've ever made it, and it's pretty good. I got to change up a little bit of the ingredients in it, but it's not bad for the first time. And so far, it's my favorite way to have crab like this, hands down. Jennifer just finished a long vacation. Glad you're back, Jennifer. I hope you had a good time, good reset. I just had a few days to myself. Well, I just finished editing this video where it was like 5 days, 6 days where I was just on my own, and there's this really cool video that I'm going to be releasing to you guys tomorrow. It's an hour long, guys. It's the longest video I've ever made. But I was in my happy place and it was a really good day. And it's just, just turned out this way. So I hope you guys enjoy it. It is coming out tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. Tonight I just figured, you know what, after working on it all day, I was just gonna catch up with you guys on a live and let you know. So yeah. Oh, Moonman, you're asking if I'm wearing my Crocs. I am in the video. I'm not wearing them right now. I still have them when they're over at Nick's place, but they're all worn out. And I'm kind of maybe thinking it's time to retire them, but they're so convenient to put on when I'm going in and out of the van real quick, because I can take them off outside of the van, hop into the van, not drag all that stuff into my van, and then hop back out, put them back on again, and just sort of slipper my way around a campsite or next yard or something like that, wherever I am. But yeah, they're not very fashionable at all. Anyway, I am playing around with some different footwear right now. I bought a pair of shoes that are buried up in my van here, but they're for the gym. So Mimi Maloney asking me what I do about mosquitoes. I've got this I'll show you. I don't have bug screens for my van yet, even though I know how to sew and I could actually make up bug screens in my van. I haven't done it yet because I haven't finished this cabinet up here. And once that cabinet's done, it's going to change the way those bug screens go down, like over that sliding door right there. And then there's this little window open here that opens up in, like, just like that, kind of like an envelope. And I don't know how to, I don't know, I just haven't thought about it. But anyway, I use one of these candles. It's a Coleman citronella candle. And yeah, I just, you know, light that, set it up there in the front of the van, and it does the trick. I don't do it if I'm like hanging out in the van, but if I'm in a camp space, I'll get this going, and then it'll just kind of like keep them out of the van while I've got the doors open and stuff like that. But at nighttime, I'll just kind of like put it out, let the thing sort of air out the van, that is, and then climb in and go to bed. So I don't know what's in that stuff, but I'm sure it's not, you know, something you want to be breathing in full time. But that's what I do for mosquitoes. I don't put anything on my skin. If anything, I'll use lavender oil, like an essential oil. I'll use a bit of that to deter mosquitoes and stuff like that. But come to think of it, I'm out of that stuff, so I'll have to get some while I'm in town here, because it'd be certainly handy to have. Lavender oil is actually really good also for when you burn yourself. And the other day I got a really bad sunburn, and I was thinking, I'm out of lavender oil. And you just mix a little of that with a carrier oil, where you can put it on directly, and just put it into a sunburn or a burn that you get on the stove or fire or something like that. It's great for that. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, Cam, these crabs are really good. This is the best like way that I've ever had a crab, is by making a crab cake. The last time like I did a crab video was the last time I had crabs. And I always think of, you know, pubic crabs, or what do you know, basically, you know, the ones that are go down there, but we're talking about crabs, the big ones in the ocean. My head always goes there when I talk about crabs. And I've never had crabs before, but I've caught, you know, ocean edible crabs. Useful information, right? Well, Kim, thanks for the super chat. Right on. Yeah, these are really good. They're not a keto recipe. This is just, and I'm not on keto anymore, guys. I'm doing more of a paleo, and this isn't even paleo. This is totally a treat. There's panko in this. There's about a tablespoon of sugar in the whole recipe, and then there's some dates that I chopped up and put in there, just 4 of them. So it's I think next time I could probably just use dates, because it's a whole food as opposed to using a sugar, but it worked pretty good. And I wanted a bit of sweetness in the crab cake recipe. But Jennifer, you're asking if I'm done with Nick's van build. Man, sadly, I'm not done with Nick's van build. These things are big projects. Like when I built mine out, it took me well over a year to make this, and I'm still not even done. Nick's van is getting there, and from what you've seen from the last video, there was a bit more work done to it, not a whole lot. And then I've been away from it ever since. I thought I was going to be working on it a couple weeks ago, but then my accountant reached out to me and she was like, we got to get your taxes done for my business. So I had to put the brakes on the van. Sorry, Nick, you know, and then I was just like, I literally just sat in my van for almost 2 weeks doing all my bookkeeping. And I didn't film anything during that time, but I had these videos, so I was just, you know, carrying on with the kind of cadence that I was doing in sort of my channel and releasing one video a week. But yeah, I will be going back to the island here probably tomorrow or the day after, and carrying on with the project. So, and we're not gonna finish it. We're not gonna grind it out and finish it. I'm just gonna do his fridge and the hot water tank, and then we're gonna leave it for a while. And I don't know. Yeah, we're just gonna leave it for a while. So that's it. That's what's happening with the van, and I might even explain that in some of the videos that are gonna be coming out. So if you hear it twice, you know, just that's fair warning. You're here. You're getting it live right now. Yeah. Yeah, Robin, you're asking if any plans to use Starlink, like what Chrome's using. I did chat with Chrome about it. It sounds like a really good thing. I would, it's a big investment too. It's $1,000 to get it, and then it's $160 a month to pay for it. First of all, I'm just not really in a position to stretch for that at the moment, and there's other things that I could spend money on, and that's not one of them at this point in time. Plus, in this van, it could fit in here. Like there might be a place where I could squish it in, but it would be really annoying to have that in my space because it does take up a lot of space. And I already feel like I'm pressed for that kind of thing. And anything else that comes into my van's got to be very, very, very important. And that's just not going to cut it. So, yeah, Starlink. But it's a cool thing. You know, it sounds like he's doing really well with it. And I'd love to do it. I'd love to be out in the backcountry and just hang out with that. It'd be really, really cool. Oh, thanks, Daniel. Thanks for the tip about Mystic Beach. I'll put that on my little list of places to check out. There we go. I just took a little photograph of your comment there. Cam, you're asking how the workout's going. The workouts are going really good. So I've been going to the gym, and see, I'm showing off my muscles here with my tank top today. Just kidding. It's just hot out. Yeah, so I've been going to the gym and working with PT for a little bit and getting familiar with gym machine and equipment and stuff like that. I figured while I'm in Victoria working on Nick's van, is like, okay, I might as well actually go to the gym and use the gym for what it is. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you for the super chat. I got to read that in a sec. And just sort of see, like just incorporate that into my life. And I've never used that stuff before, so I'm learning. There's a PT there that's showing me how to use the equipment, and it's really nice to have the yoga teaching background that I have and bringing that into it and having an understanding about proprioception and body, you know, posture and form and all that sort of stuff while I'm doing this sort of stuff. So I'm glad I have that, and it's feeling really good to be reactivating parts of my body that have been more or less asleep for quite a while. Like there's my piriformis muscle in my hip doesn't even want to really activate that much, so I got a specific exercise to do for that to try and do it. And from my right side, it takes like probably 10 reps before I can finally sort of like get it to kind of wake up and start firing, and then it gets tired really quick. But anyway, it's pretty fun. I'm learning a lot, and it's really good in that way. So I'm gonna keep at it. I go twice a week, and I might even bump that up a little bit more and get more specific with the exercises that I do. But once I'm on the road, or if I get into the backcountry situation, it's, I might do some stuff around the van and stuff like that. Kind of make up for not being at the gym, but um, yeah. Um, oh, Kalani, you switched to a mushroom coffee. I've seen a few advertisements about mushroom coffee, like the mud water and stuff like that. I don't know if you guys saw that stuff. It was coming up in my social media. It was all super masculine advertising and stuff, and I was just like, whatever. I got my coffee, but I'm sure like I would try the mushroom water or something like that. I've drinking Dandelion coffee. That's really good. But of course, regular coffee. I like my regular coffee right now, and I'm just honoring that for myself and having it. So, um, that being said, Kalani, thank you for the gift card at Tim Hortons. I am. I think you sent me one a while ago, and I'm using that one right now. Um, yeah. Rachel, thank you for the super chat. Um, oh, thanks, man. Yeah. You've been feeling under the weather. Gotta go catch the rest of the replay. Take care. Oh, man, I'm sorry I didn't catch that right in time, Rachel. You know, yes, hope you get this in the universe vibes. But I'm saying bye, and go take care of yourself. I know what it's like. Yeah, everyone's kind of doing up and down flows these days and going through stuff and then coming out of stuff and getting another wave, and it's just part of the cycle of life. So, um, thanks for popping by, and thanks for the super chat. Much love, Rachel. Rachel's one of my Patreon supporters, you guys. So I get to see her comments and stuff a little bit more frequently because I do a lot of posting and stuff in Patreon. And yeah, there's a little bit of feedback there. So, um, hey, Stuart, good to see you. And you've been busy painting. Well, good of you to take a break, man. Much love to you too. Yeah, Gina, in a few months, I'm probably going to look a little bit more muscular. That's kind of the hope. I had a really good form and physique, like for the longest time. And my body weight right up until, I mean, now it's like 10 years ago or something like that. Like 10 years ago, I added weight, but I was about 180 pounds for a long time. And I don't think I'm going to go back to that weight, but if I can bring myself down to 200 pounds and be more lean and muscular and not carrying around that excess stuff that's really not needed, then that's kind of what I'm shooting for. And the reason I'm doing the gym stuff and I'm taking all that stuff on, and I'm also doing more yoga again, but I'm doing it at the gym, my own practice. And it's just to get mobility back in my body so that I can reclaim some of that and have more balance, because there's some imbalances, I should say, that are in my body, especially in my hips, in my knees, lower backs suffering a little bit, especially from spending a lot of time sitting in a van. The height of this thing doesn't help the situation either. And I'm definitely seeing that when I'm working in Nick's van and I'm able to stand up fully. I think that's so important, to be able to get up out of bed and stand up right away and make a coffee, make your breakfast while standing up. I really want to do that at one point, but right now this is what I got, and I love my van. It's beautiful, and it's really cozy and stuff, but I do, I need to be careful about the constraints, like the constraining environment that it is. So going to the gym, working out, stretching, and doing all that stuff is kind of a way to take care of myself through this period, and also bring more motion and flexibility and strength into the life outside of the van. I also think about my daughter and other things, and I'm getting older, and as I do age, I don't want to lose all this stuff. So you gotta keep moving around to keep that stuff, and so it's really important. I just been bogged down with so many other things in life that this kind of took I kind of pushed it to the side, to be honest, and now I'm taking it back again. But it feels really good. It feels really, really good. And hopefully I look more muscular in a month. That's always a bonus. Oh, geez. Uh, yeah. Um, yeah, Kawika, nice to see you in here. You got to do more videos, Joseph. It's the only way to gather more of the family. They say, I understand your situation more than you know, but it is, what, 2 to 4 videos a week at minimum, my brother. I'd love to do that, and I'm going to work towards that for sure. The reality is like, I just had so much going into Nick's van, and then the taxes, which I just explained a little while ago. I could have spread the taxes out, but it was my screw up to like leave them for a long time, and then now it was just kind of like I had just had to crank them out in 2 weeks. But it's just time management, and it's working with some of those things. Now moving into the future, when someone's approaching me with a van building project or some other project, I'm kind of like, sorry, I really just want to like get back to a regular routine with my YouTube channel and bring out more videos and share more stuff. This is the project that I want to work on more than anything else, is like both this and myself and relationships and all that sort of thing. So but it's, yeah, so I don't know, there'll be more coming out. It's I think, I don't know when we're gonna be totally done with Nick's van here, but when it is, it's, I'll be ramping up the videos, man, and I want to do it sooner than later. The only way I can really do more right now is to just get super busy, like really busy, and then there's imbalances, and then I'm burning out, and then it's costing other areas of my life and stuff like that. But I hear you, and I totally understand that. I definitely want to like build the channel more and share more, and I want to expand it and collaborate and all that kind of stuff. Got a lot of ideas that are just not enough time. But I'll get there. I'll get there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's true, Kalani. So Kalani's just saying, just a tip for others, sending a gift card allows the receiver to get 100% of the amount. And that's so true. So, I mean, mind you, like if I stockpile a whole bunch of like Tim Hortons cards, it might be great. I might never even need to buy Tim Hortons coffee again for my life. That's all right. I looked into gas cards and stuff, and maybe some of those things have changed. But at one point in time, I was trying to figure out which gas companies were making gas cards that you could buy online and give to somebody, like some YouTube creator that's living out of their van, and that would probably be one of the best things they could get, is just gas card, because gas is expensive right now, and that kind of thing helps them get out there and make more videos. But caffeine does that, like coffee does that too. You know, that always helps. Anyway, yeah, and all that stuff's tax free. I don't have to pay taxes on a gift card. Yeah, everyone's trying to take a cut of stuff, but not that way. Insanity, good to see you. And you too, Barbara. Good to see you here. I'm glad both of you guys are here. That's great. Teach us yoga poses, Mimi Malone. I might get into that a little bit, Mimi, but like I don't know, set and setting. There'll be a time for that when it comes naturally and stuff. I don't want to get into doing like specific videos on that stuff, but I'll get into it. Right for now, I'm gonna spend some time on my own, just sort of like getting back into that myself. There's a lot of stuff, even though I taught yoga for a while. It wasn't even that long, but I did teach yoga. Some of that stuff, because I wasn't doing it as much, like the names of the poses and stuff like that, I kind of forget some of that stuff. So I remember, but not quite. So I'm just not in a position to teach yoga right now, but I might incorporate a little bit here and there. But yeah, totally, stretching is definitely key. Yeah, David Walters, I shaved off the mustache. I did. There's the it. When did I shave it off? It was just maybe a week ago. So there's going to be a number of videos that come out where I still have it. Maybe two or three videos. Not sure. The next video that's coming out is tomorrow, and it's a big one. It's going to be an hour long. It's pretty cool. I just spent 2 days editing the darn thing. It was quite a lot of work. Anyway, stay tuned for that. I know some of you that might seem really long, and some of you might want to watch the whole thing, and I don't care. I put it together, and I was like, well, I'm doing an hour video, so there it is. It does have quite a long ending, though. There's one particular, like the last clip. The last clip is a long clip, and you can stay for that one or not. It's up to you. Just fair warning. But it's cool. I sat there and enjoyed this particular spot on this hillside, and it was pure bliss. But anyway, wanted to share it. I might have a little critter. I gotta be careful. There's a skunk around here earlier. I got my door open with fresh crab cakes. You never know, he might be waking up for his nighttime outing. I smelled those crab cakes, and he's like, oh, I better go see. If you guys see a skunk trying to get in my van, let me know, okay? I should point the camera down there a little bit, so. I'm in this cool little spot. I pulled in here last night. I'm not even gonna say where it is. I just say that I'm in Vancouver, but I found this sweet little spot, and I pulled in, and I was like, how is this possible? This is such a quiet place. Perfect spot. And there's a creek right behind me, and there's this nice, cool, it's awesome. And yeah, literally like a couple blocks away, it's just busy. Hang on a sec here, just gonna fix that a little bit. There. Anyway, yeah, the mustache is gone. It feels good. I just had that thing because I was kind of messing around, and I had to wear a respirator a lot. And it's been a while since I've been wearing a respirator, so I let it go back to my natural. This is how I normally like to keep it anyway. So yeah. Oh yeah, the motorized dock. Yeah, Robin. That was pretty cool, wasn't it? I'm gonna go back there to that lake at another time, and probably do a little bit of work on my cousin's cabin, and maybe actually take that thing out for like a real lakeside tour. Maybe I might even drive my van onto it, take it out, get the drone up, do a really cool video. Like, I was totally thinking that while I was up there, but it'd be a disaster if my van kind of went whoop, capsized on that thing, or I don't know. But yeah, that'd be really funny. All right, what's going on out here? I gotta investigate this. Worried about that skunk. Can you imagine getting sprayed by a skunk? Have any of you guys been sprayed by a skunk? Oh my god. Let alone getting one sprayed in your house. I don't think that's gonna happen, but you know, that wow. Yeah, you're darn right. That skunk does have me paranoid. That would make for really fun, interesting content at my, total discomfort, but I'm sure it'd be pretty, interesting to watch. Oh, Barbara, I think I made you a moderator a while back. Sometimes what I do is I'll go through a live feed chat, and then what happens is, like, as I do videos and stuff and the channel grows, there's different people that come on board that watch a channel, and I can see that they're pretty involved and supportive, and they haven't left any, like, negative comments, and there's plenty of people out there that I can make moderators that I haven't done, but anyways, if I recognize a name, then I'll do that. So sometimes that's how that happens. But yeah, no, it's a pleasure. If you don't want to be a moderator, Barbara, then I can take it off, but I see that smiling emoji, so I'm sure that's all right. So sometimes that's what I do that. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, you guys had a couple dogs that got sprayed by skunks, which, yeah, that's no good either. Skunks are poisonous pandas. That's a really good one, Malini. Wow, poisonous panda. I love it. Man, I wish I could share these crab cakes. And so, and maybe one day I might actually do that. So I was thinking about, you guys have asked me this before. Should I do a meetup or something like that? And I was kind of like, a really good meetup would be a meetup where I'd have like a barbecue or something like that going on at the same time, and I could serve up like fresh caught salmon, crab cakes, maybe some venison, all stuff that I shot on video. So I don't know, that would be a really cool thing. But that might be a really cool thing to do with with other YouTubers and stuff like that. Chrome and I from Van City Van Life, we've talked about doing like collaborative meetups and stuff like that out on the island, where we brought ourselves there and other YouTubers there and just did something a little bit bigger, and more, I suppose, like planned and intentional. That would probably be a cool place for something like that. And maybe in that case, I would just like hire a caterer or get one of you guys that's in a catering business and work together to like get all that stuff prepared. But that'd be really cool to like share some of the catch and that sort of thing. Anyway, neat idea. If you think that's a good idea, let me know. Yeah. Let's see. Insanity, reached down to pet a cat at night and oh, is a skunk. Yeah. Oh, well. There was that cartoon with the skunk and the cat, I think. Is that right? There was a skunk that was in love with a cat or something like that. Old Disney thing. Anyway. I'm dating myself by saying that. David, good to see you. From Australia, full-time van lifer. Oh, Barbara, I'm sorry to hear that. These are one of these things that happens in life where our dads and family members do pass on, and so do we at a certain time. But that sounds like he had a really beautiful military honors, and he was okay. So what she says is, I know I haven't been here for a bit. My dad had passed away on June 1st and was taken to a final physical resting place at a veterans cemetery. July 1st, he had a beautiful military honors. Yeah, that sounds like a really nice memorial for your dad. And yeah, I think that's I don't know what to say. Just like prayers and that sort of thing for him and everyone in his life that he's touched and stuff. It's funny how, like, sorry, I'm looking at the comments here. It's funny how we're all connected, and you know, sometimes someone does a lot of really good things in the world, and that in a way resonates outward to a community larger than themselves, and then that in turn makes it a better place. And then on the flip side, there's bad things that happen too, and it's usually because of traumas and stuff like that in the past or whatnot. And it could be, yeah, it's complicated, but there's a lot of trauma in human history. It takes a while to work through all that. Anyway, much love to your dad, and you, Barbara. All right. Whew. Smell somebody's joint. Maybe that's that skunk. It smells like weed, but there was a guy that just walked by that might have been smoking a joint. Could be that skunk though. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, it's good. You're glad he's at peace and not suffering, and more he gone at peace. Also, that's really good. Yeah. I had a recent like death in my family. It was my most favorite aunt. She passed away. It was probably about 3 weeks ago. And anyway, since we're on the subject of talking about this, but she was an amazing woman. We used to go over to her place, and she'd always make these beautiful desserts, and we'd call her the dessert queen. And she's from New Zealand, actually. So my aunt was from New Zealand, and she was married to my uncle. And their son John, he's quite the outdoorsman himself. And I think these days he's doing like stuff up in the Yukon and stuff. It has to do with like geo mapping and stuff like that. But anyways, it was kind of a blessing in a way for her to pass away when she did. She had dementia. She came down with it like 2 years ago, and that my uncle was in quite a sort of a strenuous or like a strained position to look after her and stuff like that. And I just can't imagine what he was going through. Well, I can, because I learned about it through the family, and this kind of thing is happening with one of my close subscribers as well. One of you guys is going through this personally, and I had another friend go through this not too long ago. And it's just one of those things that's like, it's really tough, because the person, when they come down with dementia, and they really kind of become less lucid and not really themselves most of the time, then in a way, so like for me, it sort of felt like they kind of go away sooner than they go away, if you know what I mean. Pass on sooner than they go away. But anyway, that one's a tough one. So if you ever lived through that, or you know of anybody that's lived through that sort of thing, then you kind of know. But anyway, she's not suffering anymore, and she did pass on, and my uncle is coming around from that experience at this point in time. They just did a memorial for her, I believe, just a couple, like not too long ago. Anyway, on a more positive note, it's going to be my daughter's birthday in 2 days from now. She's born on the 12th, and we did a little birthday call yesterday. She was having a birthday party, so she was showing me a bunch of presents that she got, and she's looking really good. Really cool to see her going through this stage and trying to smash her way through a piñata her mom got her. It was pretty cool. She's now going to be 4 years old. Anyway, let's see. Crabby old lady. We're gonna switch up the conversation a little bit, get away from some family stuff, and I know I'm gonna catch up to some comments. We might pull us back in there, but we'll see. I do love my daughter very much, by the way, and I'm really happy it's her birthday. We're celebrating it over multiple days, so I'll probably be having video calls with her tomorrow and the day after, and just doing it all up. So it's a lot of fun. And if I could be there for sure, I would definitely be there with her now, but I'm not. And I think I kind of explained a little bit of that in an upcoming video, which is coming out tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah, so crabby old lady, what's my favorite thing to forage for? Of course it's dandelions. I love dandelions. I can't get enough of them, and I have a dandelion salad right here that I'm still eating crab cakes, but I'm going to be diving into that too. Dandelions are my favorite thing to forage for. Super easy to identify, very good for you, and there's so many good things. You can use the root, the stalk, the sap out of the plant itself. Will actually get rid of warts if you have like topical warts and stuff. And then just consuming it, and then the flowers are rich in lecithin. They're really great. So that's my favorite thing. Spooky, yeah, those cookies, those are crab cookies, buddy. Uh, they're really good. It's my favorite way to have crab now. It was a lot of fun catching these guys too. I did a video of that, so that's gonna come out at some point. I just had it. I had to go out and get some crabs and make some crab cakes, so I'm just finishing up the leftovers. Like I had a little bit more in my fridge, so I just cooked them up for tonight. Yeah, okay, yeah. Barbara saying that her dad had dementia too, plus other pre-existing health conditions on top of that. So you know what I'm talking about, Barbara. Yeah. My heart goes out to you. All I'll say is like these things kind of come into our lives and they go out of our lives, and life is a pretty precious thing, and it's hard to let go of that sort of thing, especially when we're losing a loved one. And all I can say is like, I mean, that being said, I don't have a whole lot of experience about it because I'm still quite young, and I'm not in a situation where I've had really close family members die and leave, except for like just more recently with my aunt and stuff like that. But it's one of those things that reminds us about our relationship to life and death, and I think it's a real important conversation to have with yourself, and it's an important conversation for us to have outright, like in the open. And there's a lot of people that just don't want to go there because it's a dark topic, a morbid topic, all that sort of thing. And I think it's hard to wrestle with sometimes, but I think it's really good to get personal with it and learn about it and understand it. And it's just good for you because it allows you to, I don't know, it's kind of like if you have like a near-death experience or something like that, where you're humbled by it. Like you come back from that and you're more alive, and you're able to better appreciate the life that you have and the moments that you have, but at the same time you're more understanding of it and able to like let it go when it comes around, and let it go for others, and let it go hopefully for yourself when the time does come. It'd be really, like, I feel personally it'd be really nice to be able to be like, it's kind of one of these goals that I have. It's like a lifelong goal in a sense. It's kind of a funny one, and I don't talk about it that much, but when I think about death, my own death, I think about how can I live my life in such a way that I'm more and more and more at peace, so that when that time comes, hopefully I'm at peace and I can surrender to it and move through that in a way where I'm awake, hopefully. But if I come down with dementia, that might not be the case, but it's at least something that I think about in that sense. So yeah, so I mean that's kind of my thoughts on death and that sort of thing. And I think for me it's an important thing. My friend Lonnie used to say sometimes, and we still chat about it sometimes, but he'd always talk about the art of dying and the art of living your life in a way so that you can die in a very peaceful manner, and you're kind of working your way towards that in a sense. It's not like a goal, like it's not what you want, obviously, but you live your life in such a way that you can transition and leave, and not leave behind this huge mess for everybody else to deal with at the same time. Of course there's going to be broken hearts. That's okay. Life is good with broken hearts, and it's important to grieve and work through those things as they do come up. And it's important to be able to have those fulfilled hearts when you're in those relationships and you love somebody and you're in connection with them and stuff like that. So don't hold yourself back from love because you're afraid of a broken heart, but at the same time do look after yourself and nurture that part of yourself that maybe is still grieving over something of the past or whatever the case may be that is holding you back from possibly opening up to relationships or whatever the case may be. It's that relationship with yourself is the number one, most important one. Yeah. A kangaroo, thank you for the super chat, kangaroo. Really appreciate that. Thanks so much, man. It's definitely helped me out with gas fund and everything else. So thanks a lot. Yeah, okay, now it smells like a cigarette. The guy walked by the other way. This time I think he was smoking a cigarette. Same guy. Phew, that is stinky. Oh, that's strong too. Is he still there? No. And sometimes I sleep in the city and stuff like that, and I'll just have by happenstance be sleeping in a particular spot where a bunch of people will like step outside of a building and smoke a bunch of cigarettes, and I got the window open and it fills up my van at night. Not a huge fan of that kind of moment, but they come and they're rare, so it's not that bad, but they come and go. That's one of the things about living in a van. Sometimes you park down and around amongst people. That can be a reality of it. Stephanie Dean, thanks for the super chat. I'd share a crab cake if I could, and you can always go buy one in a store. They're all over the place. They're really good. Yeah, Leslie Hughes. Hi there. Hi, Joseph. Crab cakes sound yum. Full-time van lifer here in New Zealand, 4.5 years now, and getting tough with diesel prices here. Hope I can continue for a couple more years. Losing a son, tough days. Definitely. Losing a sibling, like not a like losing a son or daughter, like a sibling, or not a sibling. Siblings like a brother, but yeah, that's pretty tough too. But actually, losing one of your offspring would that'd be the one of the hardest things I think to kind of cope with that. To me, I think that would be. I've imagined it. I thought like, what would happen? Like, how would I deal with that? If when you're a parent, you think about those kinds of things, or at least I do. I go, of course, it's the last thing you ever want, but it's like, man, you know, all it takes is like a close call, and you start thinking about that kind of stuff. So, you know, but losing a son or a daughter would be very difficult, very difficult. And you would have to move on from that. It's a big thing to grieve, but I think you could do it, and we know that people do. So. Yeah. Let's see. I think I skipped over a few of these comments here a little bit. I'm just gonna catch up. Oh, thanks for the Patreon link. It's Insanity. Appreciate that. Insanity just shared a link to my Patreon. So basically, what that is, guys, is it's just a way to support me and the channel monetarily. It's set up so it's $5 a month, and you can just basically it does a couple things. It's like it's five, like I don't know. I support like multiple people on Patreon myself. I support Chrome. I support Emmy. I support Forest. I support Mark the Paint Guy, and to me, that's those are people that are in my lives, but they're also people that are doing something really cool that I feel like I'd rather give that person money and see them create something with it, turn around and do something with it. So I feel better about supporting that kind of thing. The other things that I do support is like conservation efforts for like environment, animal welfare and stuff like that, wild conservation. I'm not talking about like animal rescue shelters and stuff like that. I mean, I suppose if it's for wild animals, I'd be down for that, but pets and stuff like that, I do love pets, but I'm kind of a little bit more partial to, you know, wildlife and environment and stuff like that. So, but anyway, yeah, Patreon is a way that you can support my channel if you want, and me. And then one of the perks you get back from that is being a Patreon member is you can get the app on your phone. You can get more updated in real time things as to what I'm doing. Like I'll put posts on there, pictures, little video clips and stuff like that. So there's just little bonuses and you get to see what I'm doing ahead of time. And I tend to share more intimately with my Patreon supporters than YouTube. So if there's something that I'm kind of wrestling with or thinking about and maybe I need to bounce it off of somebody, like should I share this in a video or whatnot, I usually check in with my Patreon community first. And it's really nice. It's a really nice, like close-knit bunch of people, and I really appreciate it quite a bit. There's benefits both ways for that, and well, at least I feel that way, and I'm really grateful for it. Yeah. I think that was the last crab cake. That's it. Yeah, Smucky Butt Doodle. That's a good name, Smucky Butt Doodle. You'd like to see me go in the wilderness and fish for a couple days. Is that a possibility? It is. I'd like to do that too, and I kind of do that a little bit in the next video, although it's not super remote or anything like that. You'll be able to see people in the background and stuff here and there, but I do some camping and stuff like that. There's no fishing in it, but there's some really cool like sea creatures and sea life and all that sort of thing in it. So but yeah, that kind of video, like sort of like the catch and cook sort of thing, I do want to do that sort of thing, but as long as I have something going on in the city, which I do right now with the van build that I'm working on with Nick, which is down in South Island and it's in Victoria. There's not a lot of places in that area that support that kind of video for me. I have to go for a much further drive, and so I got to put the gas in my tank and I got to go do it. It's usually going to cost me like upwards to $300 or more to go and do something like that, just in fuel costs, because I have to go back to Nick's place to finish up what I'm doing over there. Now, if I was making enough money on YouTube, let's say, with the ad revenue of videos, and I had a few other ad revenues going in, which I could probably focus on after Nick's van is done, so I can kind of build myself up slowly. If you're still around for it, I might actually be in that position where I can just put gas in my tank and I can go from point A to point B and C and D and E and so on, and not have to go back and forth like this. And that's kind of where I'm at right now, is I'm keep going back to Nick's place. Keep going back to Nick's place. I go out and I go back because there's a job there and I'm building a van. But it's going to pay off my bills, and it should give me, it puts me in a better position to go from A, B, C, D, and so on and so forth like that. Still not totally there yet, but it's a good move. But in a case where I can go like that, I can get to some pretty remote, cool places and be able to do those more like fishing, hunting, foraging videos on the go. And I think that would be pretty exciting. At the same time, there's all kinds of other dimensions of my life that I'm kind of managing and taking into account as well. And one of those big ones is my daughter, who lives over in Bali and stuff like that. I think about her a lot, and I'm kind of like, okay, well, you know, I'm pretty sure like once Nick's van's build, I'm gonna be like putting everything I got into like, okay, how can I set up a trip to go see her? And then maybe do some of that other stuff afterwards. But I could probably do some of that stuff while I'm over there as well. That would be pretty sweet. I mean, imagine some fishing videos in Bali. I don't know that, you know, even some spearfishing and stuff. And I know a couple guys over there would take me out spearfishing. So it's just life, and you know, some of those things, and I have to deal with the responsibilities at the same time. And I'm kind of sorry, but at the same time I'm not sorry, because dealing, like, if I were to push myself and go do those videos and not take care of myself and not do the self-care practices that I do, I might find myself in a position where I get to do all that sort of stuff, but now I've got this backlog of stuff that I got to deal with. The debt, the life debt, not just the financial debt. And right now I'm paying off the financial debt and I'm paying off the life debt, like the health and all that sort of thing. So I kind of overstretched myself once before in the past. And it's not in the cards for me right now to do it. It's not sensible. But I will try to do that sort of stuff as it comes up. Anyway, I'd love to. So one way, if you want to see more of that stuff, is jump on my Patreon, become a supporter. That really helps me. That extra $5 a month or $10 a month or something like that really does help me quite a bit. And watch my videos, share my videos. I mean, like, leave feedback. That was a really good video. Thanks so much. That kind of thing helps me move forward, and that becomes more of a reality where I can do that sort of stuff on an ongoing basis. Because and I think it's totally possible, and I think it's going to be a reality. But yeah, next video tomorrow, you guys. The next video, I don't know, it's a bit of a long one, an hour long. It's really long. It's good. It's rich. It might be a bit drawn out for some people, especially like when I look at some social media stuff, guys. It's quick. It's fast paced. It's just this dopamine fix after dopamine fix. It's just like, yeah, gimme, and it's that kind of stuff. And I'm not necessarily sharing that kind of content. There's certain things I do with my edits to make them kind of go along at a nice pace like that. Like, once you get kind of tired of one thing, in my mind, when I'm editing, it's like, okay, let's get on with it. So I do think like that, but at the same time, there's also part of my brain that thinks it's really good to share the long stuff, where it's like I'm just walking around camp and cleaning up and doing different things. Like, that to me is interesting. And I think it's interesting to a lot of people out there. So I don't want to get into this habit of copycatting everybody else's quick, fast-paced, super snappy videos and stuff like that. I mean, there's moments where I really want to do that, and there's other moments where I just want to just relax at the same time. I'm looking for sustainability at the same time too, and being authentic in how I share. So it's kind of like, coming around. And hang on a sec here, I gotta plug my computer in here, and it is plugged in, but it's not charging. Hang on a sec here. Oh. There it is. That should work. We're good. I had to turn my inverter on. I plugged my computer in because the battery is dead, but I still have to turn that thing on. The entire brigade is here. Hang on, I just saw a random comment. The entire brigade is here. It's good to see everybody in here. Ramblin' Rocketeer is in here. Hey, buddy. Good to see you in here, too. Greg Betts, yes, the whole gang is in here. Long videos are great. Thank you, Insanity. I'm glad to hear that feedback. It's kind of a nice video. It's a little bit touching. I get into a little bit more touching subject matter near the later part of the video. Just sharing some more intimate stuff and that kind of thing. And I was kind of, I don't know, it was just came around, so it came around. So there's a little bit of that in there. Nice touch. And it was such a freaking awesome day. This video, I loved editing it because I just got to relive the entire day that I was out there, and it was great. Really nice. I'm so excited to share it with you guys. I'm gonna release that one tomorrow night, so stay tuned. It's a big one, and it's gonna be fun. Mark the Pink Guy, you're in here too. Hey, buddy. Good to see you, man. Haven't heard from you in a long time, brother. Hope you're doing well. I do see your posts on Patreon, though, so I do get that. I just mean we haven't talked on the phone in a long time. Yeah, and you are in Calgary, doing stuff in Calgary, for sure. Margaret Hutchins, thank you. I like your videos because they are calm and centered and there's no sugar rush, so to speak. Totally. And there's going to be like, you know, that's kind of my vibe, my style in a sense. And I'm just kind of like, that's it. So, you know, there's going to be a lot of people that want that kind of thing. And there's going to be other people that want that more quick fix dopamine rush. And there's, at the same time, we're all individuals that need that kind of thing sometimes, and sometimes you just need something that's really chill. So I mean, I watch some content too that's pretty go go go, and then I watch other content that's just really chill back and relaxing. So it does depend. Although I'm getting more discerning as I get older, and it's got to be authentic or I'm not interested. Yeah. And there's some mainstream content that comes out, like movies and TV shows, where it's just a screenplay, it's just a script, and it's the same cookie cutter script that's been forced into our eyes and our cortexes and ears for a long time, and I'm just like, I'm over it. I'm like, no, come on, we need something rich. None of this is rich. So I watch other stuff. Yeah, authenticity is amazing. Yeah. It's cool to see a little conversation going on in the chat there between everybody. Ray James TV, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Godspeed to you and your family too, man. Mark, you're putting everything together this weekend. Of course you are, man. One step at a time, onwards and upwards, man. Onwards and upwards. I am finished. Mark's asking me what I'm eating. Well, it's in the title of the video, man. I finished eating my leftover, they're crab cakes that I made. I ate them the day I caught the crabs, or the day after I caught the crabs, and then I had a little bit in my fridge, and I just finished eating them up. They were really good. And then I got dandelion and fig salad going with it. And it's a nice pair. Really good. Yeah, it's really nice. Still haven't seen the skunk come by, so that's good. Some of you guys might have just tuned in, but there's a little skunk kicking around this area. I'm keeping an eye out for him. Here we go. Lost the chat here. Just give me a minute, guys. I'm catching up. Okay. Back to it, I think. It's weird how sometimes my internet shifts goes between my phone, and then it wants to get onto some public Wi-Fi network, and then it wants to go on to my other camera, and the other one disappears, and sometimes I have to manage that sort of stuff a little bit when I'm out. Anyway, so What else could I talk about here? We don't have any questions. You guys aren't asking anything right now. So I could wrap it up. But I'm just thinking, if I do that, is there anything else I want to share before I go? I love doing this, guys. I really, really love doing this, and I'm so glad that I've made friends with you guys, and we get to share this kind of stuff. And I get to share this stuff that I do with you guys, and I love it. I really do. And yeah, I'm excited to share tomorrow's video. I've got good videos coming out after that. I don't have anything to do with Nick's van for a while. I'll need to pick up some filming and stuff as I continue on that project, but there might be another video that comes out, but it'll be pretty sparse. Like, you know, it'll come out at some point in time, and we'll just go right back to sharing the wild. So there's some good sharing the wild content coming out, and just some deeper shares and stuff like that. Yeah. And Kim, you're asking me how the sewing's going. I haven't done too much lately. I've actually got to make more fitted sheets for my bed. The bedding that I did make a while back in one of my videos, the material started pilling, and it's become really uncomfortable. So I got rid of it all. I actually chopped it up into rags, and I gave it to John at J5 Custom Vans. And the fitted sheets, I have yet to sew up a new set of those to replace these ones, but I'll be doing that one pretty soon. But it's all just kind of like utilitarian stuff. It's just like, okay, I'm doing it because I need something, and that's about it. And Insanity, you're asking, what will I do on my daughter's birthday? I'm just making myself available for her. And just to like do our video calls and stuff like that. That's pretty much it. So I did have an invitation to go morel mushroom picking up in 70 Mile House. My friend was gonna drive. I was gonna park my van in his yard, and we are just gonna like go up there and do that. But I was like, I can't go, man. I'm like, I can't afford to be in a place where I may or may not have good cell connection. Like, I need to have this connection to my daughter. It's her birthday. And he's like, oh yeah, no problem. So I'm just sticking around a cell connection, and a good solid one, so that I can connect with her on her birthday. And we did connect already today and yesterday, and we'll probably connect tomorrow and the day after. It's like her birthday every day right now, but it's pretty fun. Man, I miss her so much, and I just wish I was there. But you know, it's okay that I'm not. Like, I'm not gonna get totally upset about it. It's just, yeah, it is what it is, and I'll get to see her soon enough. So yeah. There is a friend of mine, I haven't seen him in here, Dutch fly fisherman. He's a subscriber. He invited me on a fishing trip up in the interior, doing some fly fishing out of float tubes and stuff. Maybe going on a plane trip and stuff like that. Just like great stuff. I just felt like I couldn't, like, I don't know if I can go and meet him, because it's so far. Like, it's like, it cost me almost $1,000 in gas to go over there and to come back to Nick's place on the island. And I say that because I'm kind of stuck at Nick's place, because I'm still working on his van. It's an anchor, and so I'm kind of stuck there for the moment. But that would be a really cool trip to go on. But I think I'm gonna have to pass on it. But if you're catching up on the live stream, Tom, it was a really good invitation, and we will stay in touch and that sort of thing. And I hope you send me some pictures of the fish that you do catch. And if something changes and I'm able to come up there and go fishing with you, I'll let you know. But yeah, otherwise I'm going to be kind of maybe setting myself up to do some salmon fishing on the island or something like that. Yeah. Wildflower Wind, you're asking, what am I doing tomorrow? I'm going to be going down to the marina where Lonnie's keeping his boat, and helping him out with something on his boat. that we need to run some tests and do a few things on. And then, I mean, after, well, before that, I'm actually going to go on a hike. I'm going to shoot a video. So I'm going to get up tomorrow morning and go for a hike. Tomorrow is my workout day, so I'm kind of feeling like I might be doing my workout in the evening, but I'm going to get up and go for this hike while it's still cool out. And I think I'm going to film that one. It's the Grouse Grind. And it's just in North Vancouver. It's something I used to do quite frequently when I was younger. I just get up in the morning and I'd shoot up the mountain and then I'd take the lift down. And right now I'm just like, well, might as well go shoot a video there and go for a hike. It's a real grind of a hike. It'd be fun to share that one. So I don't know if that's going to pan out and if I can even get away with doing that. Sometimes I have a video in mind and I get started into it and then it just falls apart partway through it and I kind of have to throw it out. Sometimes I can salvage it, but the intention is to go do that in the morning, then go help my friend. Once that's done, I'm gonna go back to the island. So that's my plan. And I could go back to the island. I don't have to rush back. Like I could go back the next day or the day after, but yeah, something like that. Yeah, Insanity, sorry if already, but you'll see how much longer on the van build. Van builds are so much work. They're like, you think you're like, yeah, I just need to make that cabinet there and we're done. But then you're like, yeah, but like, I mean, every piece of wood in my van has got like, it took a day to make it, roughly. Not always, like not every piece of wood. Sometimes I get 3 or 4 pieces of wood done in a day, but sometimes like a chunk of wood is like, oh, there's so many different measurements and considerations and things in relationship to other things that you have to kind of build it out in your mind ahead of time and know where you're going with the van build, taking into account like all the other things that fit with it, and then reversing back and going, okay, so knowing all that, what do I need to work on? And then you're always kind of juggling back and forth. And some new piece of equipment comes in the van, you got to take something apart and rebuild it and stuff. And that's van building. I mean, that's my experience of van building. But yeah. That being said, to answer your question, there's probably a week to 2 weeks of working time left on his van to get it to the point that he's ready to say, okay, let's take a break. And that's going to be finishing the hot water tank installation and all the plumbing and installing and making and installing the fridge cabinet. And that's it. There's still going to be overhead cabinets on the passenger's or the driver's side part of the van. We're not going to do that right now. We're going to just leave it alone. And then there's other little tiny cabinets here and there that we're just going to leave alone for the time being. And then maybe later in the fall or something like that, there might be some downtime or something like that. Maybe I'll do it. So that's it. Yeah. Did I lose the chat again? Oh no, here we are. Okay. Catching up. Anyway, that's it for the van stuff. Alberta Schoolie Adventure, will you consider a canoe or kayak in the future adventures? Absolutely. I've been actually looking like sometimes every now and then I'll go look at like some different fishing kayaks and stuff like that. Looking at paddle boards and not so much canoes, but kayaks, like sit on top fishing kayaks and stuff. Something that there's some really fancy ones that are really cool. There's this like Old Town one that's got this Minivan motor in the front that's set up to GPS coordinate. Like it's crazy, but like you can go out into the little part of the water that you want to be on and set it up, and that motor will keep you on point like an anchor, and you won't move even with tides and stuff. It'll just turn itself and keep you right where you need to be. Totally like really expensive, and I need a boat trailer and all that stuff and a place to store it and all that thing. But man, if I it's like something like that, I could get out and actually go fishing in some really cool places, because shore fishing in the ocean on the island it's not great. It's not good. It's not like, most of the time I'm just pitching stuff out there to like waters where there's, you know, little tiny perch and stuff like that swimming around, but there's no big fish. They're all out where all the rest of the food is, and that's out in the deep water. So um, I don't know. And then I've been looking at it, little inflatables, stuff like that. But it always comes back around, and I go like, I don't have a van big enough to store this sort of thing, and I'm like, where do you know, I could get a storage locker and a trailer and all that sort of stuff. But then it's like, well, how long is that practical for right now? These are all things that I think about. So I think about stuff for a while before I actually make any decisions. And in this case, I'd love to have one, but I'm not sure what makes the most sense at this particular time. So I'm just kind of, you know, we'll see. But I think it'd be really sweet. One step at a time. That's how it is. One step at a time, and that's you know, that's kind of one of the biggest things that I want to share. Actually, is just, you know, one step at a time. Yeah, okay. Ramblin' Rocketeer, everybody, pretty please ask a friend to subscribe so Joseph can reach 30K. Yeah, you know what, Ramblin' Rocketeer? So I was at 30K, but then I lost some subscribers over the last little while. I don't know what's going on, but it's kind of up and down. It's really slow. It seems that way for a lot of people. It's summertime. People change their minds, move on, that sort of thing. So it's all good. It'll come back there. It's fine. Um, yeah. I'm still chatting, guys. I'm found some interesting questions, but um, yeah. Yeah, Cheryl Sibson, lots of logging roads and creeks and rivers would be cool. So I think what you're saying there is about like making videos and stuff like that of exploring some of those places. Um, Again, like I kind of explained this earlier on the chat, so I'm kind of repeating myself at this point. But I'm I'm tied up with the van build, and that's down in Victoria, and logging roads and that sort of stuff are quite a distance away from where Nick lives for most of the time. There are some places that I could still explore over there, but it's gas, and it's having this mentality right now that I have to go back to Nick's place to finish this job. It costs me double the amount of money to go out and do that sort of thing. So it's not just like getting out there to go fishing, but I also have to pay to go back there. And I live in my van, like in a sense, I could just go out there and do that if I didn't have to go back there, and I could stay there for 4 or 5 days. And it wouldn't cost me as much because I'm, you know, moving slowly. But if I have to go back, it's like a commute. That's expensive right now with gas and all that sort of stuff. So um, I'm just about finished doing some of the work on his van. I'm just about paid off my debt, and you know, one step forward at a time and stuff like that. And I mean, but that would, you know, that's my dream, is to be out there and share that kind of stuff, and do that sort of stuff. And I'm going to work towards it. And if you want to support me in doing that sort of thing, jump on my Patreon. You know, throw me some support that way. That really helps. Or, you know, watch the video, share, all that kind of stuff. So all that stuff helps. It's all a project. It's a bigger project. Hmm. Hmm. And Samir, I'm starting to repeat myself. Yeah, I've thought about doing merch. Samir's asking if I thought about doing my merch. Um, I still have to do some graphics and stuff like that. I just haven't actually sat down with any of this stuff and made time for it. I've just been on, you know, in a sense, other than doing Nick's van, I've been kind of doing damage control a lot of the times. And it's just kind of where I'm sort of at in my life. And I'm trying to do the videos at the same time, and sort of share those more highlighted moments as opposed to like, you know, me filming me doing my taxes, which I didn't do, but I spent a lot of time doing that over the last little while. So yeah, but eventually I think I'd like to branch out into some other avenues as well. And I feel like I just have too much going on at the same time for my own brain to really be able to keep up and reach out and bring something new on board and learn how to do that. So I'm trying to like honor my own bandwidth, if you will, and being able to do all that sort of stuff and going like, there's no sense panicking and trying to have it all ready all at the same time, even though people want to see me succeed and have that stuff in place. And then I got this voice in the back of my head that says, well, if you don't do it fast enough, you know, you're going to lose people and all that sort of thing. And tell that voice to fuck off, because it's not a good voice. Anyway, self-care, man. It always comes down to self-care and just pacing it out. At the end of the day, it's about having a peaceful transition into the afterlife, if there is an afterlife. Oh, Edgy, holy shit, Edgy. Thank you, man. Holy cow, love you. Holy, thank you so much, Edgy. That's a really nice gift. Wow. Edgy, thanks for the super chat. It's really good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. I'm glad you're here. Man, that's awesome. Thank you. Holy cow. Super sweet. I love you guys, man. I really do. And I love the community of people out here, and I know you guys are watching other channels and all that sort of stuff, and everything's intertwined. It's really quite nice, and I really appreciate you guys sharing your time with me and using your time by watching my stuff, or just being in relationship in this way, which is a new way of being in relationship, I suppose, for a lot of people. Like and I know what I'm talking about, because I watch other content people, like creators and stuff like that, and I'm kind of like, I don't know them, and I'm like, oh, like I know this guy, like I feel like he's my friend and all that stuff. So I totally get it, and it's really cool. I love what we got going on, and I'm super grateful for it. I'm grateful for the internet. Idgy, thank you so much. Idgy Threadgood, I haven't seen you in a while. How are you? So good to see you. Thank you very, very much. Wow. Man, that's great. Thank you, guys. Hey, Steve said, hi, how you doing? Yeah, you can watch the replay, bud. I talked about some pretty cool stuff in this one. Main thing I was kind of like just kind of trying to let you guys know and fill you in on is I shaved my mustache, of course. Some time has gone by since I had it. Tomorrow's video is going to be an hour long. It's a good one. I was going to put it out today, but I decided to do this, and I'm going to share that tomorrow. So you're going to get a little bit more of me this week, which is really cool. And the videos, it's nice. It's a good video. Man, 2 days editing that thing. No kidding. Like, it was a long edit, but it's good. I like it. Oh, Water Tree Muse. You're down on the beach. You're watching a gorgeous sunset on the beach. It sounds amazing. Nice to see you in here, Water Tree. What beach are you on? I was down. No, I don't have a sunset here. Every now and then I get a nice sunset, but I haven't. When was the last time I saw a sunset? It was a little while ago, actually. Like, as in it was a while ago. But I do like sunsets. Thanks, Insanity. It is true. Good things come to good people. They do and they don't. It's kind of weird saying that, but there's an observation. Just felt like interjecting it. Good things do come to good people. But sometimes the do-gooders don't actually get the recognition and the things, the appreciation that maybe they deserve. And it's more the sometimes it's more the more outward, sometimes even cruel person that ends up getting more of that stuff. Totally messed up way of things. And I'm not explaining it very well, and I'm kind of tired, and I don't know if I really should get into it because I'm probably going to fumble all over that explanation. But yeah, sometimes, someone does a lot of good things in their life, and they don't necessarily get the same type of successes that other people get. And I guess that what I'm talking about is like monetary success and financial success. Sometimes that doesn't necessarily happen if you're a good person and you do really good things in the world, because often the right thing to do, it's kind of weird, like it's just sort of weird how we set up how we make money, as a society. And there's a lot of systems in place that in order to make the money, you got to do something that just defers this cost, this like hidden cost, onto the environment or onto a next generation of people or something like that. And sometimes that's a conscious decision, and sometimes it's an unconscious decision, and sometimes it's just like a selfish decision. Like I watch some people make money, and it's kind of, there's this greedy nature to it, and they get ahead quicker because of it. But I'm like, I can't be that way. Like, I don't want to be greedy. I don't want to have that. I can't embody that kind of way of being. And so I'll be more like this, but then I'm kind of like, but I'm not getting ahead as fast as a greedy person is. I'm not going to become a greedy person to get ahead financially either. It's not what I'm saying, but sometimes someone that's doing really good things in the world, I guess, what am I really saying is, I guess what I'm self-observing in myself is that I need to heal my relationship with making money. And then that'll sort itself out. And that's that. That's what it comes down to. So shouldn't have any other opinions about it. It's just my own relationship with it. And there's some hang-ups in there that I got to work through, and that's about it. But Iggy, thank you so much for that super chat. I really appreciate that a lot. Really great. Yeah, Steve said, there you go. Got to be able to live with yourself. It's what your goals are. Money doesn't equal quality of life. No, it doesn't. And like, I feel like my life is really rich. And while I, sometimes, like, I mean, I'm parked beside these homes right here that are, some of them are like $20 million, not right here, but just up the road. There's some really crazy homes with like Porsches and big fancy Mercedes SUVs and all that stuff parked all over this stuff, and Teslas and all that stuff. And I'm like, I know it's just face value, and some of those people are in debt up to their eyeballs, and it's all relative, but it's like, I live in a van, in a minivan, a 2005 minivan, a Dodge minivan. But my life is really good, and I feel really grateful for it. Like, I just ate crab cakes that I made. Caught those in the ocean myself. That was a really good experience, and I know how to do that. And I'm pretty self-sufficient, and that is an amazing thing. It's a rich feeling. I can go out into the forest and I can find food, and the rest of these people, I don't think they know how to do that sort of stuff. Like, so I feel blessed, and I love sharing it with you guys. Good night, Kim. See you in there. Have a good night. Very tired. You have to work tomorrow. I'm so glad to see you in here. Thank you so much for the super chat, Kim, and all your love and support. Thank you. Have a good night. Take care. Same to the rest of you. Anybody else that's kicking off right now, much love, and take care. Mr. Skipper, yeah, narcissism can go a long way. Most definitely it can. Quite a narcissistic society out there in a way. It's a symptom though. I'm not pointing the finger. It's definitely it's a symptom of something else. And I'm no expert at it, but somewhere in there's a bit of narcissism even in myself. I know there is. There's definitely moments where my ego gets the better half of me, but it's also important to have a healthy relationship with your own ego and stuff like that too, but always keep in check and stuff like that. So yeah. Thanks, Iggy. Be the teacher, oh, be wise one. Right on. Yeah. Well, that's kind of like, yeah, I mean, like I've worked hard to get to this point in my life to have the sensibility that I have. And it's just mine, and I know everyone out there has got some really unique perspectives on life and skill sets and all that sort of stuff, and everyone's very beautiful in their own way. So it's really just, I feel blessed and rich to just be here and be able to share and do this kind of thing. I've worked towards this. I've worked really hard to be able to get to this position, and I'm proud of it. I love it, and I'm going to keep going. And like this is basically like building my dream life in the making. And I don't need to be a millionaire or any of that sort of stuff. I don't need to live in one of these big houses. I don't think I'd be happy in a big house like that. Might be fun to park a boat there, but I'd be like, I couldn't justify the property tax and all that other stuff. I don't know, like it'd have to be, hypothetically, like if I had property like that, the way my psychology's set up, I would be like, okay, what kind of retreat center could be built in this space to help other people? How can it be leveraged in a way so that it isn't just an empty space where only one person kind of comes and goes sometimes? Like, can it be used to do good and to help other people out, that sort of thing? So, and I have, I have very little experience with that kind of thing, but that's how I think of it. The Park, thank you for the super chat, The Park. Really appreciate that, buddy. Yeah, thank you so much. Man, woman, I would say, but now we're in this confusing stage of what kind of sexual orientation or character are you, all that kind of thing. That opens up a can of worms with subjects that have been bouncing around the internet lately about all that sort of gender stuff. But anyway, The Park, in spirit, thank you very much for that super chat. I really appreciate it. And I like your little picture. It looks like, is that like two little penguins or something like that? Cozied up. Looks really cool. Yeah. Stephanie Dean, good night to you too. Stephanie Scene says, gotta say good night, Joseph. Great seeing you and hearing from you. Happy birthday to your little girl. Stay safe, well, and have fun. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you. I appreciate that little wish for my daughter too. That's quite nice. Have a good night, and thanks for being here. Maggie Dick. All of our money troubles will be history this year. Watch the Great Awakening Bonfire Guy on YouTube. Nazari Gazara. Winky face. Might check it out. Stuff comes and goes that gives us these false promises and stuff like that. And sometimes I hold back from clicking on some of these videos of that sort of thing, where I'm just kind of like, is this just another like attention grab for, you know, like I click on some videos and I get disappointed sometimes. And I just like, I want to, like, I need something real to watch. Anyway. Oh, Gina M. No, I haven't, yeah, I haven't practiced with the crossbow yet. It's, Nick, I don't have a range pass this year. And I don't have an actual target. There is a subscriber that I've been in touch with a little bit. He's out in Souk, and he's invited me to go over to his place and practice in his yard. He's got a target for crossbow, and he's just been through a round of surgeries and stuff like that. And he's like, I need some time to recover and stuff like that, so maybe later. And Nick's got a range pass at the Squamish Valley Game Club, or not Squamish Valley, sorry, that's where I used to have a range pass. He's got a range pass at the Victoria Game Club, which is pretty close to Victoria. It's just up the Malahat. So we'll probably go there, Nick and I, together, and do that sort of thing. He's actually there today doing his own thing, so had I been over there, we probably would have went, but I'm sure we'll just set something up. And they got a cool little campsite right at the range with a pond with stocked fish in it. So I'm thinking we'll go there when we got both the vans, and we'll just go up there and spend the night and have a little fire, maybe catch and cook with one of the trout in the pond, or cook a steak or something like that, and we'll shoot the crossbows. I've got a little 22 rimfire that I kind of pieced together over the last little while, bits and bobs. I just got the last little bit that Nick traded me for some van work on. So anyway, it's just a little plinker kind of thing. Maybe fun to shoot that, and then yeah, maybe the big rifle too. Just make sure everything's all sighted in and stuff like that. But I don't know what I'm necessarily going to do for hunting this year. I didn't apply for any limited entry hunting tags. I just sort of sat back again, as I did last year. And this is mostly because of my daughter and the dynamic there, not really knowing, am I going to be jumping on a plane tomorrow and flying away and not being here for the hunting season? That's always a possibility. So I'm kind of on the back side of things with that. And then Nick is going to be having to relocate as well. So the question of having a deep freezer and a place to keep all this game meat is still there for me again another year. I don't have full control over that scenario. And because of that, I'm kind of like, maybe I won't go hunting big game because of that. Because, it's not fair of me to go and shoot a deer if I don't really have a place where I can keep it long term and get, to consume the whole thing. I have a couple solutions for that too, though. It's like, I love the idea if I got partway into that and then somehow, Nick was moving, we had to offload everything out of the freezer or something like that really quick. And usually that's the case where a hunter gives that stuff away to his friends. I would probably do a meetup in Victoria or something, and I'd be like, guys, I got to offload the freezer, so I'm giving out, this game meat, and maybe we'll do a little barbecue at the same time and share some of it that way. But I do like the idea of having a wild source of protein for like that kind of thing in the future. Because right now, like, I'm kind of working out in the gym, that kind of thing, and I'm buying some meat, and I'm trying to buy good quality meat. The price is getting more expensive, and I'm like, well, I kind of have the tools to be able to go and get that some of stuff in a real beautiful way that is sustainable, if approached with the right, I suppose, ethics and all that sort of thing, obeying the law and all that kind of stuff. I do that anyway, but just, I don't know, I tend to kind of spell that out a little bit more sometimes, especially with YouTube, because I want to be a little bit of an ambassador when it comes to like hunting and fishing and stuff like that. But yeah, anyway, rant about the crossbow. I haven't gone and shot it yet. I'm looking forward to, and I don't know if I'm going to use it this year because of the way everything's going. But I could take that little 22 that I'm building and take that with me, because I could just go do a backcountry. There's a grouse, and do some, you know, grouse schnitzel like I did last year. And then I don't have to worry about a freezer. I can just eat it like a fish, just all at once. So, you know, there's that. There's that. I could definitely do that. But and there's canning. Yeah, I could do some canning with some of the stuff. Although I'm not sure about canning. Yeah, I guess so. Huh. But donate it. Yeah, share it. It's sharing the wild, literally. Anyway, but yeah, I just want it, like if I'm participating in that stuff, like I want it to have. I don't want it to just be a selfish thing. Like I want it to have more of a way to reciprocate the the moment, the benefits of like the hunt or the fishing or any of that sort of stuff. So um, yeah, and just share that in a real well-rounded way that's educational and fun and all that sort of stuff. So yeah. Hmm. Um, okay, you guys are asking a little bit about fermenting and veggies that are okay to ferment. I don't know too much about that stuff, guys. I'm just kind of learning. I did a little bit of fermenting so far with that thing that I made, and it was just like um, cabbage, mostly. There's some like onions and garlic and stuff like that in there a little bit. Um, I haven't done any of that recently. I actually got a little kefir kit that I'm going to start that as well. So that's something else that I can do in that fermenting thing, and that's something else that I want to share. And I kind of want to do a little bit more around that system that I got to and show fermenting, making kefir, sprouting, all that kind of thing in the van. I just really feel like I want to be in the van and kind of on the road and sharing all that stuff from that standpoint of view, because then it's more interesting than just kind of like showing you me doing that side of things while working on Nick's van and hanging out in Victoria. Just it's sort of interesting, but the outside environment is not that appealing to me. It's not that interesting. So I'm kind of saving some of that for later. Plus, it is getting hot, so some of that stuff's not going to work so well. But I got to do it with the weather too. Um, yeah. Mm. Some of you guys are taking off, so I'm going to say goodnight to Ramblin' Rocketeer, buddy. You guys, because it's you guys, guy and gal, do take care. Have a good night. And it's good to see you guys. Um, thanks for popping in. Oh, and VYK, thank you for the super chat. And welcome to the channel. I don't think I've seen you in here before, but thank you very much. That's really awesome. Thank you a lot. Yeah. Yeah, and Bubba, you're saying $2 a liter makes it hard to travel. Indeed. It makes me think twice about traveling. So the way gas prices have been, I'll just talk about this a little bit. In some ways, I've been blessed in a way that I've kind of been able to base myself out of Victoria and Nick's place and not really move around a whole lot. And I've limited my driving, although recently I started to drive a little bit more. While being in Victoria and being at his place, and while starting up going to work out at the gym more and stuff like that, I've started to spend more time away from his place and just hanging out at a few little places nearby his house that are more interesting to spend time at than actually at his house. So that's part of it. I'm just looking at a car that's driving by very suspiciously slow. Like they're checking me out in the rear view mirror or something like that. So one of the things about being in a van is like some people like don't like don't like it or don't know what they're looking at, that sort of thing. I am in a neighborhood where I'm sure some of these people wouldn't appreciate it. And man, I was down at Spanish Banks, you guys. I went down to Spanish Banks a couple nights ago. I pulled in there very late. I was planning on spending the night there and waking up and spending the next day hanging out. And I had a friend down there, and I was like, I don't want to be here. It was full of vans and RVs and trailers, and like I've never seen it like that before. The place was just like camper city almost. It was just, there were so many of that down there. And I was like, well, it is tourism season. I've never seen it this high before, but there was so many vehicle dwellers and that sort of thing down in that area. But in any case, I think some people that like live in the city, that pay taxes, that have homes and stuff like that, are like seeing this as another form of homelessness and another form of like trashiness that's sort of taking on a form within their cities and stuff. And it's probably hard for some of them because they're like, especially in a nice neighborhood like this one, they're like, man, you know, like I pay a fortune to live here, and last thing I want to see is a bunch of guys with trailers and RVs and stuff starting to settle in around the outskirts of where I live. And so, but it's a complicated issue, you know. I do my best to keep my van looking really good and to be real respectful of the areas that I'm in, and I move around a lot. I have been in this spot for a little while now. I spent last night here, and I've left my van here all day. I went on a couple nice long walks, and I came back, and but I've just been kind of leaving it here. Part of that is because of the gas price is so high. I'm just kind of like, okay, well, I can. There's a grocery store down that way. There's a place where I can go to the gym over there. There's a bunch of things within walking distance, so I can just leave my van and go walk there. So it's kind of a nice little spot to do that for a day or two while I'm here. But yeah, because of the gas prices, it's making me change the way I drive and my driving habits. I'm not just getting in my van and going for a drive, um, just for a sense of going for a drive. Uh, like I do kind of miss that sort of thing. There was times when I was definitely like in my 20s and stuff where I'd be riding a motorcycle, or back then I had a smart car and stuff, and I loved just going for a drive therapeutically. It was really nice. But I kind of have to find a new way to do that sort of thing now, because yeah, 215 a liter, 220 a liter. That's it just doesn't make sense to do that right now. Are you guys still with me? Are we still live? I see the timers going up there. Chat slowed down a little bit, so yeah, maybe we're wrapping this up. Thanks, Insanity. Yeah, you bet. Every donation does help. VYK, a little thing to say thank you for the entertainment you provide me with your videos. Thank you, VYK. Appreciate that. That's really cool. And I don't think I've seen you in the comments before, but just welcome to the channel, and I really appreciate you sharing and saying that. That kind of thing really goes a long way for me. Like that's what helps fuel me to carry on building the channel. Without you guys, like I might do this kind of thing for a little while and then be like, yeah, why am I doing this? Like, you know, I can't keep doing it kind of thing. Like there needs to be some of that stuff going on. It all helps. So, but yeah, you know, it's good when it comes from a pure place, and that's important. So, and it sounds like, you know, well, it did. So it's cool. Yeah. Oh, Van Gal. Okay. What's your question? You have a van floor question. Let's hear it. I'm waiting for it. I'll have some of the salad. I'm gonna throw my curtain up here while I'll just tilt it a little bit like that. There we go. There we go. I guess the other reason why I like to keep my van really presentable and stuff like that is I know there's always the off chance that someone does get, you know, I'm parked somewhere and someone's like, yeah, better send someone to go check them out, like a police officer or something like that. And I'd be like, I could, and this has happened before, not quite like that, but I've had a police officer come by and check me out in the middle of the night. And, you know, he's kind of concerned at first. He's like, you know, are you okay? Do you need like alternative housing or stuff like that? I'm like, no, I'm good, man. Like, I'm just, you know, I live full time in my van, and then then it becomes obvious, like, oh wow, you know, like it's nice in there and stuff like that. And I said, trust me, man, this is way better than the alternative housing and stuff. Like, I do take care of myself, and I'm mindful of the communities and stuff that I'm in while I'm in my van, and I, you know, be as respectful as I can of those things in some ways. And even because I have a YouTube channel, that I try to share some of this stuff with you guys, so that there's a bit of some of that hopefully wears off onto some of you guys through like osmosis or something, and these practices are, you know, encouraged, I suppose. So try to be like a good Samaritan or something, like an ambassador. And so when that does happen, it's like, no problem, you know. Of course, you know, if an officer, let's say someone gets upset and they send an officer to come check me out, and they're like, yeah, you know, that guy's just kind of freaking me out a little bit because he's, you know, he's parked there in front of my house. I'm wondering if he's trying to hack my system or whatever like that, whatever they're thinking, I don't know. I'm like, yeah, no, dude, I'm doing a YouTube video or whatever. I'm editing a video, I'm working, I'm hanging out, and try not to drive around too much because of the gas prices, and this seemed like a quiet, shady place for me to just chill out, not really bother anybody, but I can totally move, you know, somewhere else. The other thing is if you look at the parking sign out here, I'm in a legit parking spot, so I'm not breaking any laws or doing anything like that as well. So there is that. But I did have a security guard knock on my van the other day. I was working in my van, and my mom called, and I was doing my taxes. And this was like moments after I got back from the gym, which was in the parking lot that I was at. So I got back from the gym. I had a coffee in my hand from the store beside the gym. It was a Starbucks that I bought this coffee at, sitting here. And this guy comes by, and he walks around the van, and he's like looking at me. He's like, oh, hey, you know, I need to talk to you. And so I open up the door, and he's like, you can't sleep here. And I'm like, well, I'm not sleeping here. Like, I'm just hanging out. I'm chatting with my mom. I'm, you know, working. I just finished working out. And he's like, well, you can't be here unless you're actively shopping. And I was kind of like, yeah, you know, that's fine. And he said it again, and it kind of rolled past me the second time. And then he said it a third time. And I was also having a conversation with my mom at the same time. And I'm like, wait a second, what are you saying? Are you asking me to leave? And he says, yeah, unless you're shopping here actively, then you have to leave. Like, you're not allowed to hang out in your van and just park your van here. And so then he walked away. I was just kind of like, yeah, okay, you know. And then he walked away, and I responded like that. I was just kind of like, yeah, okay. And he left, and I actually, like, I got upset with myself afterwards. I was like, wait a second, like, I got a membership at the gym. I'm sipping a coffee that I just bought at the store. I am a patron of this park, like this mall parking lot that I'm in. There's empty stalls all around me. It's not like there's people trying to fight to get into this place. My van's presentable, it's clean. There's no puddles or anything like that around me. You know, it's tidy. And I'm like, I got a membership here, I buy stuff from that store. I got stuff that I'm here for, and I'm pretty sure I was going to go get a shower there later and continue to use the services of the mall. And I was upset with myself because I was like, I didn't take the moment to sort of realize that I should have set a boundary or for myself and sort of honored and said, wait a second, like, you know, are you okay sharing your name? Like, are you okay if I just have a conversation with the owners of this private establishment? It was on private property, and I realized that when he was saying that too. But I was like, are you okay if I have a chat with these guys and see, like, do they want me to leave, like, under the conditions that I'm in right now, and I'm sipping a Starbucks. All this stuff went through my head, and I was just kind of like, I probably should have handled that differently, because I think it was just his personal beef overriding something. And had his boss or somebody else been there, they probably would have been like, yeah, no, that's not appropriate. Like, the guy's obviously like shopping at the mall, and he comes here, does this stuff just about every day. So anyway, and I wasn't sleeping there, never have. He's the only guy. There's been other security guards at that place that have walked by and I've talked to and stuff like that. There's just this particular moment. So anyway, it's funny, van life, living in a van. It's just, it comes off sometimes in that way, and there's not much you can do about it. There was another instance. I was sitting in my van. This happened more lately because I've been spending more time away from Nick's place, out in like parking lots and stuff like that. I was cooking dinner the other day, and this couple walked by, and they're kind of like looking over, like looking kind of down onto the whole thing. Yeah, you see it in their face, like kind of like, oh, you know, like. But it's also maybe like, I don't know, maybe I'm totally projecting too. But I see like this kind of scowl kind of look, and it even happened a while ago. I got this stink eye from some lady, and she was just like, you know, sorry. I mean, I'm kind of thinking at the same time, like, you know, my lifestyle is also not new. It's been around. And the reason people think about this kind of lifestyle is because it's a response to other things that are challenges. And it's a way to work around that sort of stuff. So, you know, yeah. Anyway, I think the world would be a better place if we all kind of like, more of us help each other out. And I think the world is becoming a better place, by the way. I know there's some real crappy shit going on out there, but yeah, there's also some really good things happening too. So yeah. Okay, sorry, Sanity, I'm catching up with you. You're saying, please look at old Van Gal's question, because she did have a question about my floor, and I'm going to go look at it, old Van Gal. I'm cruising back through it. Question about the floor. I got on that rant because I was putting my curtains up. Okay, I found your question, old Van Gal. How would you do it? Have to use 2x2s to attach the plywood, or can I just put insulation, plywood, laminate floor, and done, or something else? All right. I don't think you need to use 2x2s. I guess because you're kind of thinking, sorry, kind of trying to hold that one in, but I was actually burping a little bit there. 2x2s as like I'm thinking a platform. If you do that, unless you use really thick plywood, the floor is going to kind of do this between the 2x2s eventually. When you live in your van, you're going to be putting so much more personal use onto a small piece of floor that it's going to be subjugated to that, and eventually it's going to do this. And if you can do a really flat, even installation, it's going to last much longer, and it'll just test it, last the test of time, so to speak. So what I did in my van, and I would kind of do this the same way again, as I put down an insulation layer. I used this puzzle piece foam flooring material that you use to like set up little kids play areas or like exercise areas. It's the cheap stuff. You can get it at Walmart, Canadian Tire, Home Depot, department stores if you're elsewhere. Like just this weird closed cell foam. It's got a little puzzle thing and they snap together. That's what I use on my floor. It's not the best insulation. It's okay. The floor is cold in the winter time in the morning. Just generally it feels cold, and I usually wear slippers, but the insulation I feel does help a bit. So in any case, I laid that down and I used it because it's got a real high density to it. There's a lot of other foams like pink foam board and other stuff that's got high density to it as well. Some of that stuff though, if it's not put in there right, it might shift, and then you can have a real squeaky, insulation piece that is buried under your floor, and when you go for a drive you can just hear this and that's part of your van now, unless you go in there and undo it. Like some of that pink foam board stuff, I'm a little bit scared to use that because of that, but look for an insulation, put it down, and then have your floor on top of that. I think is a good idea. And you can skip doing the 2x2 things. The way you can fasten your floor down is a couple ways. You could screw it down. I mean, there's a lot of different ways I've thought of it, and there's a really cool way I thought of doing it for like a next Sprinter build. If I were to do another Sprinter build, like hopefully my own, is like how I do my flooring. But it's really kind of complicated, and I can't really explain it, and I still have to kind of play with it in order to see if it's actually going to work. And so I don't know, but it's kind of like foam and then that. Although I think if I were to get a Sprinter van and actually build it out, I'd probably do a heated water floor in the flooring, like do not water but like a glycol floor, and have the heat pump that runs it in the floor, so I'd have a heated floor. Man, if I had the money to buy a stand-up van, I'd do a full-on build. Like I'd go the extra mile and I'd put a glycol heating system in the floor. And you might even be in a position where maybe you want to do that for your own floor. So you could look into that. There's basically like Webasto, S-Bar. I'm not sure about Planar, but there's a bunch of different heaters. You can go into marine stores and look at the diesel heaters that they have as well. They're usually built to higher standards than the S-Bars and the Webastos. They're more money. But a lot of those types of heaters will have systems that you can attach onto it that have a glycol component to it, so that it'll transfer the heat from the heater in through a coolant loop that you can run into a floor heated system. And that's pretty cool, because then all the heat is right there and it just radiates all the way up, which is really nice. So I mean, that's something you could look into doing. It's a bit spendy, you know. I'm not sure where you're coming from with finances and stuff like that, but that's always a possibility and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, my van, I just have that foam puzzle piece stuff down, and the floor is not even screwed down. It's just sitting on top of it, and it's held in place by when I installed the cabinets and I put the cabinets into the floor. Those are driven into the floor itself, and the floor to ceiling cabinet that I have is wedged in between the floor and ceiling. It's securing this one down. This floor is actually screwed in, the one that's under my bed, and the one that's in the front of my van is not screwed in, but it's held in place by this front cabinet and the other cabinet that's up there in the corner, as well as the very edge of this bed. So if I did get into a situation, if the van did flip over and roll upside down, I would have a lot of problems, of course, but the floor in the front might destabilize and come off. And if yours is just resting there, or if you have certain parts of your build, you can also think about like what happens when I get into an accident. Not when, but like if, you know, if I get into an accident, am I thinking about how this stuff is constructed? Like what's going to happen? I mean, a lot of shit's going to happen if you get into an accident. You got a van build, and some van builds are better built to be able to withstand some of that stuff, and some others aren't. And it's a complete gray area as far as like, you know, there's not a lot of standardizations and stuff like that for that kind of thing. But if you talk with a professional van builder or a company that's outfitting like trailers and RVs and all sorts of stuff, is that they got a whole bunch of like paperwork and like liabilities and all that stuff that they got to go through to make sure that all that stuff's tickety-boo and it's good to go. So when you're doing it yourself, it's just something to keep in mind and do that kind of thing. Hopefully that answers your question. I'm going to kind of trickle down through here and see if I got another question from you or someone's built off on that, and then we'll see where this goes. But give me a moment here. Let's see. All right, so that was that question. Evil Elmo, you're asking how I take showers and do laundry. Try not to sound rude. No, it's all good. I cover that in the video that's coming out tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. I talk about how I do my laundry in it, and I actually do a shower in it, so you'll see. Let's see. I'm just cruising through, guys, seeing if there's any build on that extra thing. Sorry, just reset it for me. I was partway through reading some stuff there. Okay. Yeah, I got your comment, Water Train Moose. I don't know if you're still here, but thank you. Yeah, it's all good, and nice of you to hang out too. And if you're still here, that's great. But you know, it's a pleasure to have you come in and say hi. And you're welcome. Sorry guys, a little bit of a silence here as I kind of cruise through this stuff. I'm gonna have a bite of my salad, but I got focused on a question, following through. That's what happens. Wow. Almost there. Edgy thread good. Joseph needs to go live more often. I thought of it. I do need to go live more often. I think, like, I tell myself that I should as well, but I just wanted to give it a break because I felt like I was doing quite a few of them there for a while, and I just wanted to pump out some videos instead. Barbara Brooke, you have to go. Gosh, it's 11:32 over there. It's getting late over here too, but yeah. Working tomorrow. I don't want to go yet, but gotta go now. Bid you all good night. Have a good night, Barbara. In spirit, if you're already gone, have a good night. Thanks for hanging out and sharing that stuff that you did, and best of luck with all of those transitions and stuff that you're working through. You'll get through it. Just take your time, one step at a time. Yeah, Mr. Skipper's tapping out too. All right, guys. It's all good. And it looks like I'm catching up to the final end of the chat here, and we're not getting any other build on that flooring question, so that's great. And Dallas Lemieux, hi Joseph, enjoying your videos. Thank you from Ladysmith, Vancouver Island. Dallas, that's great, man. Dallas Lemieux. I do remember. I'm not sure if I met you before. No, I haven't met you before, I don't think. But that's cool. Ladysmith. I was there not too long ago. It was just hanging out up the road with J5 Custom Vans. So yeah, insanity. That is the longest meal ever. It sure is. I'm still eating my salad. It's all good. Yeah, I'll finish it up though. Salad doesn't last very long, so I hate having salads as leftover. I'll just finish it up and that'll be fine. Barbara Burke, yeah, you're welcome to be a moderator. Thank you so much for being there, and thanks for taking on the role. And yeah, I certainly will. Give my girl a birthday wish and love from you too, for sure. All right, I'll let her know that. She'll like to know that. That's pretty sweet. Man, she's such a social little creature, that one. She's so beautiful. I love her. And asks, Gypsy, is it hard to mount solar panels? It can be. It certainly can be. I'm not going to dive into that one tonight, Rick. I am getting tired. I think I'm going to wrap this up here pretty soon, but it can be a little bit tricky and sometimes, but other times it's not. It really depends on how you go about it, and there's a million ways to do that. And I'm sure you could even come up with your own way that's totally different from other ways. Sometimes it'll just come around. You'll find a solution to the problem you're looking for when you're not even looking in the the place where you think it should be. Yeah. All right, guys. David, I see your question there. Where did I learn to harvest from? Bunch of books. I've answered this question in the past, but a lot of different books. I watched some YouTube videos on it, but mostly it was books. And there's all kinds. I mean, there's a lot of good ones out there. It's just diving into it. And there's some websites out there as well that'll walk you through it. I shared it on another live chat a while back, but I forget which one. I think it was my last one. I got into this subject quite a bit, so if you want to go back and check that one out, I think it's the very last live stream I talk about it. If not, it is mentioned in the title or something like that I get into plants and foraging and stuff, so you can try that. But yeah. Anyway, guys, much love. And Mecca, I'm sorry you're tuning in right at the very end here, but I see you there. I'm just wrapping this up. So guys, have a lovely night. It was really good to hang out with you. I appreciate all of your support, help, and just hanging out and spending your time with me. It means a lot. And thanks for all the love, you guys. And Iggy, thank you for that massive super chat. That was really nice. Thanks so much, and thank you everybody else for your super chats and your support and your love and all that stuff. Tomorrow night, I'm gonna have this video up and ready for you guys. I think the title is gonna be like Exploring Sombrio Beach Park or something like that. I'm not sure. I'm still working on the title, but anyway, it's an hour long. It's an hour and 6 minutes long. So anyway, that's it. See you guys. Bye.